This is task 1 for 8.2, so make sure that you're in your book following along. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to talk about terms, specifically terms of a numerical expression. So for this first task, we're going to look at some expressions and talk about how many terms are in those expressions. So for part A, how many terms does the expression 14 plus 9 have? Okay. What does the expression 14 plus 9 have, and what are they, and explain how you know. Okay, well, we know that a term is separated by an addition or a subtraction sign. So here we have one addition sign, so we're going to separate our expression into two terms. So we have two terms, and those terms are 14 and 9, okay? And we know this because there is an addition sign. Okay. All right, part B. How many terms does the expression 6 plus 20 minus 9 have? Well, terms are separated by an addition or subtraction sign. So that means what we have one here, and one here. So we have 3 terms. Those terms are 6 and 20 and 9. Okay. And we know that there are 3 terms in this expression because they are separated by an addition sign or a subtraction sign. Okay. Part C, the expression 25 plus the product of 4 and 5 has how many terms? What are they? Because it is a blank of those expressions. All right. So this expression we see, right, if an expression or terms in an expression are separated by an addition or subtraction sign, that means that we have one here and then one here. Because multiplication signs do not separate terms. Okay, so now we have 2 terms, and those 2 terms are 25 and 4 times 5. And this is because it is a what of those expressions. The 25 and the 4 times 5, what do we do to them? What's in between them? An addition sign. And what do we call the answer to an addition problem? A sum. Okay. Now, the expression 4 times 5 has 2 what? We have the 4 and the 5. Now, then we're not going to call them terms because this one only has one term. The multiplication sign does not separate these two things as terms, but we do call the 4 and the 5 something else. We call them factors. And you guys have heard that word before. Has 2 factors. And these 2 factors are 4 and 5. And this is because it is a what of those expressions. So 4 and 5, when we multiply 4 and 5, what do we call the answer to a problem like that? We call that a product. Okay. So for part D, the expression 7/10 minus 11/20 has how many terms? Well, there's a subtraction sign right here, which means that we're going to separate these two into 2 terms. It has 2 terms, and those 2 terms are 7/10 and 11/20. Okay. And this is because it is a what of those expressions. When we have a subtraction sign, what do we call the answer to a subtraction problem? Call that a difference. Okay. For part D, the fraction expression 7/10 is also a what? Well, we do know that when we see 7/10, really what that means is it's just 7 divided by 10. And so what you're going to put here is, do you remember the name of the answer of a division problem? A quotient. And It's quotient because this represents, just like I said before, 7 divided by 10.